So, Super Mario Brothers the movie is a topic of discussion that a lot of people are talking about, and the reason why is because it is a big time narrative destroyer. This particular movie has proven to many people that needed it to be proven to, and I don't know why there still is people out there that think that the movies are somehow this scary place that a lot of people don't want to go to because of the pandemic and all this stuff. That entire excuse has gone completely out the water. It's been out the water ever since movies like Top Gun Maverick had came out. Ever since movies like Spider-Man No Way Home have came out, even Black Panther Wakanda Forever, as good as it did, even though it didn't do as good as the previous one by $400 million, even though it did good and it was in the 800 some odd million dollars, even that movie was a movie that would completely destroy the narrative. And now we have Super Mario Brothers doing the exact same thing, but in the sense that it's even worse because Disney is not the one that's in charge of this animated film. Nintendo is the one that's receiving all the credit, obviously, in Illumination Studios. Now, why am I talking about Super Mario Brothers yet again, aside from it being fucking awesome? I'm talking about it because the creator for Mario, Miyamoto, says that negative reviews of the Super Mario Brothers movie is the reason that it would help it grow. Now, we talk about this all the time because in our videos, we literally speak about how negative press is not there's no such thing as hate watching, in my opinion. The reason why I say that is because a lot of people who quote unquote hate watch a TV show usually hate watch it through their favorite YouTubers. They would rather watch their YouTuber friends or people that they like watching tear apart a TV show and watch it that way than actually sit down and watch a bad TV show themselves. So hate watching is only really being done by the people who are reviewing these shitty shows. But in this scenario, they're talking about the critics because the critics are the only one that actually hated this movie. The audiences loved this particular movie. And anytime you have that disparity between critics and audiences, usually the movie's going to be successful. When the audiences love the movie and the critics hate the movie's 9 times out of 10 is going to be very successful. With the off chance of that not being the case for a movie like Shazam, for example, where it had a high audience score, but the movie completely bombed. So let's get into this article and see what it has to say about Miyamoto. But of course, before we do, guys, consider giving this video a like to help push us out into the YouTube algorithm. It says Nintendo's chief designer and Mario's father was surprised by how successful the Super Mario Bros. Movie has been. I don't know why he would be so surprised about that, to be honest with you, because again, Mario is such a legendary character. It has all the clout necessary to carry a good animated film. All they had to do was make it an actual good animated film and make it true to the games any which way they could. Look at Sonic the Hedgehog, for example. That movie did very well after they redesigned the terrible Sonic design that they had. They listened to the fans, they redesigned it, they made it more like the game, and boom, it was an instant success because they gave the fans what they want. This is the same exact thing. They made a Super Mario movie, and instead of doing it live action like John Leguizamo's terrible ass movie, they decided to do it animated. They made it look exactly how it should look, and that was it. It's the simplest formula to follow. It says the Super Mario Bros. Movie is a bona fide hit. In its first 5 days in theaters, the new animated film brought in over 375 million globally, and despite a lot of negative and meh reviews from critics, it's expected to cross $1 billion at the box office soon. In fact, according to Shigeru Miyamoto, Mario's dad, those poor reviews actually helped the film become so successful. Now, I do agree with this to an extent, because again, this is not necessarily the same argument as hate watching. This is more about critics being completely disconnected with what fans want versus what critics supposedly look for. The critics who are bombing this movie are bombing it for some very odd reasons, and I'm not really sure if it's because, you can go into massive conspiracies if you want. You can say that critics are bought and paid for, and they're in Disney's pockets big time, so they were paid to give this movie as bad of a review as possible. I've heard those rumors going about, and I've heard those conspiracy theories, and obviously none of them are proven, so I'm never going to speak as if they are proven, but don't get it twisted for a second and think that that's not possible. Obviously, Disney is very much possible to pay off some of the critics. It's been proven that they have paid off critics before. Not only them, other corporations do it all the time, so it's not something that's completely unbelievable, but again, without any proof, you cannot say for sure one way or the other. But I can see how Disney would benefit from this movie doing poorly. Their animated films are nowhere near as good as they used to be, and their live actions are failing left and right. But that's neither here nor there. So it says, released on April 5th, the Super Mario Bros. Movie has an endless amount of hype and marketing ahead of it as people are prepared for the first Mario film in nearly 30 years. The last one was a disastrous and awful live action film from 1993. Remember that thing? Once it hit screens earlier this month, the new CG animated Mario film created by Minions maker Illumination Animation Studios, fans flooded theaters to see it. While many fans enjoyed the film, the critical reception has been less than great. Our own Carolyn Petit called it a transparently hollow commercial product that feels like it was designed in a lab, and she wasn't alone. Other reviewers were also negative, but Miyamoto says that actually helped the film grow bigger. And you guys can leave a comment down below, and you let me know whether or not you agree with Miyamoto and the fact that the negative reviews actually helped bolster this movie's success. I do think it did for an extent because, you know, you're going to have people that want to kind of like stick it to the man, right? So if people know that there are critics out there that are hating on their favorite IP, they are more likely to go try to support it. That's just the truth of it. I do think it is happening with this movie. I don't know if that's the majority of its success. I really wouldn't call it that. Ultimately, it's a Mario movie. Like, to think that it wouldn't be successful if you just followed the basic formula is crazy to me. I don't really know if they're just scared because of what happened in a 1993 film, but this is totally different. This is not anywhere close to the same kind of movie. It says ahead of the film's release in Japan, Miyamoto spoke to the press in the country about the film's debut, its box office success around the globe, and negative reviews from critics. VGC translated his answers and reported that he was surprised by just how successful the film had been. I did have a level of expectations that this movie would also do well, said Miyamoto, but I was very surprised that it went beyond what I could have imagined when it finally came out. Miyamoto attributed some of the film's box office success to luck, but also shouted out negative reviews too. I think you're underselling yourself, Miyamoto, because there's no way that this is luck. This is how powerful your IP is. Like, obviously, Mario is a very strong IP. Mario literally carries every single console that Nintendo comes out with. So Mario is their leading man, and to think that he would not be successful in an animated film is just crazy to me. But again, I guess they're just being modest. It says you need some luck to achieve this level of success for a film, explained Miyamoto. While many foreign critics have given the movie relatively low ratings, I think that also contributed to the movie's notoriety and buzz. I agree with that, though. I really do. And I guess when you're talking about luck, you can speak about the fact that the luck is more attributed to having the chance of people talking bad about the film and garnering notoriety and buzz. So I guess, like, from his mindset, yeah, you can call that luck. But Mario should be a film that prints money. Like, it really should. There's no reason why a Mario film shouldn't do a lot of money. And I did hope, or I should say I do hope, that Nintendo continues to make more animated films, because I really do think that they can come out with something crazy. Like, they can come out with their own animated universe that'll do crazy money, and it will literally put Disney in their place, which is exactly what needs to happen. It says, interestingly, Miyamoto says he's become a bit of a TV critic himself over the last decade. He told the press that he watches a lot of TV morning drama shows in Japan and has apparently developed a reputation at Nintendo as a morning show critic. At Nintendo, I do have the joke title of NHK Morning Drama Critic, Miyamoto admitted. I check morning dramas every day and provide various critiques. Sometimes I'll praise them as being fantastic, and other times I'll point out their shortcomings. According to the famed game designer, his wife has grown tired of his critiques, telling him that she doesn't want to hear it and that he should talk about it somewhere else. He also told the press that he has developed an interest in creating dramas like the one he watches and critiques after doing this for the last decade or so. So it looks like the guy obviously is very much into overall TV, movies, etc., even though he's a video game developer. But there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to put his 2 cents into those topics. And clearly he's very interested and well-versed. He's also very modest. So as mentioned before, I'm extremely happy that Mario is destroying the box office as it gets closer and closer to $1 billion. It's about to pass $900 million, which is fantastic. Great job. And let's see this movie hit $1 billion before it even hits Japan, because this movie is going to hit Japan and Korea very soon. And you know, once it hits those 2 markets, it's going to go well past $1 billion. And Disney's entire narrative is going to go up in flames. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.